Shroud mo, Mantis.
Yeah.
Malaga. Mantis Shroud.
Yeah.
like mobile apps for these companies.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and of course, stock buybacks, returning billions of
Yes.
dollars to shareholders. But don't just take my word for it. Let's look at some of the numbers.
Alam
According to
niya.
the Federal Reserve's
A lot of
economic data,
times the
food away
whole
from home, which is the category
went
that
in
includes
Alam niya
fast
din.
food,
It is.
this rose
with
roughly
zero
28.5%
HP.
over the last 5 years. But general overall inflation rose only 24%.
That's the thing is, after COVID, this is what happened. COVID gave them an excuse to raise prices massively, and then they never went down. That's what happened with all these fast food restaurants.
Now,
That's
at a
what it
first
was.
glance, these price hikes might seem like a logical reaction to the rising costs of inflation. But let's dig a bit deeper. While the cost of doing business has increased, profit margins at many major chains have held steady or even grown.
What a
Take
surprise.
McDonald's, for instance. Despite facing higher expenses, their operating margins climbed to nearly 46% in 2023,
That's insane.
up from around 41% in 2019. Now, that's not
Holy
just covering
shit.
costs, that's thriving. And if you don't think operating margin is the best indicator to decide this, let's look at their net profit margin.
Look at
It's
this.
gone up from 28% right before the pandemic hit, all the
28. That's disgusting. Look at this.
way up to over 33%.
Don't. It's not because of the war in Ukraine or Gaza that fucking Taco Bell got rid of 5-layer nachos. It's nothing to fucking do with it. Don't blame Ukraine on this.
2024. Now, this has led McDonald's to begin to take some drastic measures to try to convince customers they not only aren't being greedy, but also that they still can provide value with their menu.
Bullshit.
But more on that in a moment. This pattern isn't unique to McDonald's, though. Chipotle has reported record revenues fueled by menu price increases of nearly...
Chipotle's really good. Chipotle's fine. There's nothing. Chipotle doesn't do anything wrong. But actually, that's not true. They need to have better meat quality. But other than that, yeah, Chipotle's great. Big fan of Chipotle. Eat Chipotle all the time. It's the other. Well, yeah, people get E. coli and they get sick, but that's right.
15% over the last 2 years. In fact, during the making of this video, they just announced another 2% price increase to their menu, which brings the total number of price hikes to 7 times since 2021. And Chipotle technically isn't fast food and is more in the category of fast casual dining, but they still are a part of that food away from home stat that I provided from the Federal Reserve.
It's different. It's different.
And so we can still learn a lot about their recent financial performance over the years. Chipotle's net margin is higher now than ever before.
And you compared this to McDonald's. McDonald's was more than twice as much as this. See this? They're at 10%. This is like a lot of companies have between like an 8 and 12% operational margin. This is normal. But it's McDonald's that's the bad one. 10% is fair. Yeah, they're making 10%. That's nothing.
Has been steadily climbing since the pandemic.
Hardly.
However, the margins did tank before the pandemic due to foodborne illness issues the company was facing.
It's fake.
But if
It's
we
made
also
up by
look at their
McDonald's.
revenue and net income, that has also been rising steadily since the last quarter of 2020. And here's the kicker. Chipotle's former CEO, Brian Niccol, earned over 17
That's not fair, though, because no. Chipotle, it's different. So with Chipotle, they're still growing as a business and they're opening more new stores. So their operating income is going to go up because they have more places to grow because they haven't hit a market cap yet. Whereas McDonald's hit a market cap 50 fucking years ago. So there's a total, like, you can't look at total net revenue. You have to look at what the operating margin is. Because if you're making 150 million versus 50 million at the same net revenue, that's the real fucking conversation. $20 million. That's not even that. No. I'm not sponsored by Chipotle. Like, I'm not. I eat Chipotle at least 3 times a week. And I don't want to hear this. This is bullshit. It's McDonald's and Taco Bell that are wrong. Chipotle's fine.
million in 2022 and over
No, I don't have
22
stock
million
in
in
them.
2023, including significant bonuses tied to the company's profitability. This is
Oh.
over 1,300 times the median pay of a Chipotle worker. Now, whether you think the CEO is worth 1,300 times the average worker or not, it's clear that they are making more money now than ever before.
They are.
And Chipotle also just announced in July that they were authorizing a $400 million stock buyback program.
Wow.
Essentially funneling excess cash back to shareholders instead of, I don't know, reinvesting it into operations or finding out ways to keep prices stable. Additionally, Yum Brands, which owns Taco Bell,
This is
KFC, and Pizza Hut, instituted price hikes in 2023 and cited that it was a last resort option
bullshit. You've been doing that for years.
later
They're
that
lying.
year clocking in a 21% increase in total revenue
Look at this.
over its
Look at this.
pre-pandemic
This is
earnings.
insane.
Now, since then, executives at the company have authorized a $2 billion share repurchase program, returning $678 million to its shareholders. Now, there's no secret here that greater amounts of capital are being redirected to corporate level costs, such as C-level executive compensation. Now, critics argue that inflation has become a convenient excuse for these price
True.
hikes.
True.
Yes, labor and ingredient costs are up, but why are executive salaries soaring at the same time? Why are companies...
Because they're soaring with the price of the company, because their salary is part of the equity that they're given in the company, and that's the compensation package. They're not paying the guy a big bag of $200 or $20 million. They're paying him with a stock package. That's the reason why he's getting a lot of money.
He's increasing ad budgets and launching multi-million-dollar stock buybacks while
It's
citing
totally different.
higher costs as the reason for passing price increases onto consumers. Now, in some cases, the numbers suggest these companies are taking advantage of inflationary pressures to pad their profits.
100%.
In fact, a recent analysis
Especially
from the
McDonald's.
Economic Policy Institute found that corporate profits accounted for over 40% of price increases across several industries during the pandemic recovery period. Now, while fast food isn't singled out in this analysis, it does seem to fit into this
But
broader.
think about it, it's going to be the worst one. So it's more than 40%. Because if you're looking at all of the different food, and then fast food is the worst offender, then you would have to logically assume, and that the other prices, like Applebee's hasn't gone up that much. Chili's somehow is fucking cheaper. So it's actually fast food is probably 60 or 70%.
Trend. This narrative has led to a huge disconnect from corporations to their consumers, particularly around their pricing and the value propositions they offer.
True.
But the interesting thing here is some of these companies are faring much better than others. Chipotle, for example, is continuing to grow in spite of their price hikes. And
Because
also-
they haven't reached market saturation for having enough
Yeah,
stores
really.
in the entire nation. They're not worldwide like McDonald's.
Yun!
So in 20 years, 30 years, Chipotle is going to have the same problem. They're growing because they're a new company and they have room to grow. But McDonald's and Taco Bell
200
doesn't have
lang
that
yung
same
damage.
room
Yeah.
because they've already had a hegemony over fast food for
Like, oh my
50
God,
years. It's totally different. Easy excuse. No, it's a fact. This is a fact. You're defending this bullshit? No. What do you mean I'm defending this bullshit? Their profit margins are at like 10 to 15%. McDonald's is at 30. So how the fuck am I defending it? No. This is, they're growing. How many stores, look.
This world is all I have.
There's 3,000 Chipotle. There's 13,000 McDonald's. You see that? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. Bro really likes Chipotle. I'm not a Chipotle stockholder. This is an objective fact that their net revenue is going to go up because their business is still in the phase of growth and the product is good that people are buying it. I'm not a stockholder. I eat there all the time. I know this.
Also historically haven't offered any sort of value meal. While restaurants like
They don't need
McDonald's,
to.
Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, and others are all trying to entice customers by trying to add more value deals.
They're
to their
lying.
menu.
They're not value. See, it used to be the dollar menu, and then it was the value menu, and then they got rid of it.
But of course, fast food chains have their side of the story too. They argue that
their side, which is lying and wasting people's fucking money, and then advertising products that you look at the Taco Bell drive-thru, and it looks one way. You get the product, it's not the same thing.
these price hikes are a necessity, not some evil choice. And their executives
lying.
have pointed to some real
They're
pressures.
they're using AI at the drive-thru at Taco Bell now. They keep getting my order right. This used to never happen. Never. They would never get my order right. Now they always get it right. It's AI. Guaranteed.
Rising wages, volatile supply chains, and of course inflation as reasons why fast
Fake.
food just isn't as cheap
Fake.
as it used to be. Now, back in May of 2024, social media posts about an
disgusting.
$18 Big Mac meal went so viral that McDonald's actually had to begin a campaign trying to debunk some of the myths that were being spread about
Oh yeah, you're gonna debunk your own menu.
the prices. Remember this graph from earlier?
What?
Yeah, well,
What the
McDonald's
fuck?
disagrees with a lot of it.
I bet they do 46% profit margin.
Wala na akong buhay eh.
What a
Ibibigay ko pa sa'yo. Gago.
What's behind this is that while data on its own is
the
rather objective,
fuck?
the way in which data can be presented often is
I
very
needed the
subjective.
black
That's
rose
Including
in
this video here.
bros.
However, in their blog post, McDonald's cited bits of information from the article labeling them as myths.
Was this-
in
no,
their
no,
blog
no.
post, McDonald's cited
McDonald's raised prices. False. McDonald's overall 5-year increases are closely connected to the increase of to-run restaurants, which have gone up. No, that's not true, because then the other restaurants haven't gone up that much. That's fake. McDonald's raised prices so much that every menu prices increased more than 3 times. Well, this is, see, they're just trying, this is, okay, so look at this. They're just trying to fit. This is like, you know, you need to write a 500-word essay. So, like, you're just writing bullshit. This is the same question. McDonald's price increases are the result of greed and price gouging. Restaurant margins are largely the same as they were in 2019. What about 2015, though? What about that, 2019? So yeah, interesting you use the frame of reference right before you pumped up all the prices. So you go and you say that they're moving the goalpost. So no, look at it. See, it was down here. This is an operating margin. This means if they make $1, they're getting 30 cents back on that fucking dollar. This is insane. 10 years ago, shit changes. It's a percentage. This is different. They're lying. McDonald's Big Mac meal has increased in price. See, this is what they're doing. They're using 2019 as a reference point because that's when they began doing this. But if they had to use 2018 or 17, all of these myths would have been reality. That's what they're doing. Come on, man. You think chat doesn't know percentages? Yes?
McDonald's cited bits of information from the article labeling
10
them
piece
Naman,
McNuggets
loading
meal has
sa
increased in
wakas.
price by 95.5%. No, but it's increased by like 50%. Everything is based off of 2019 because that's when they started doing this.
as myths, like, quote, McDonald's raised prices at a rate nearly double the national rate of inflation. And over in their fact, that over the last 5 years, prices have increased around 40% due to higher input costs such as salaries, food, and paper products. And while that may be very well true, the article cites McDonald's menu prices have doubled 100% since 2014 across popular items, the highest of any chain we analyzed. But you know, okay,
That's right.
let's just assume McDonald's was confused on this.
No, they're selectively using data That is deliberate misrepresentation.
And they cited from 2019 on as opposed to what the article says, which is 2014. So what about another myth? Well, once again, McDonald's cites the article quoting, McDonald's medium fries have increased by 138% since 2019. But McDonald's claims the truth is the average price of a medium fry in 2019 was $2.29, and now in 2024, the average price is $3.29. Okay, well, the article actually says that the 138% increase is from 2014 to 20.
See, I fucking knew it. I knew they were lying. See, this is it. See, they're using 2019 as a frame of reference because in 2014 it was way less. This is it. See, they're looking. They're a private company. They can do what they want. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. Okay, to be fair, I do actually have 2 McDonald's drinks within arm's reach of me. So I was gonna say that I have, but I actually haven't. I still go to McDonald's. But why are you defending this bullshit? This is ridiculous. Do we need to go back to the fucking operating margin again about this? Was it 46% operating margin? I'm pretty sure the fucking cartels are lower than that. You have a worse operating margin selling cocaine. This is insane. Stop being a dick eater.
2024, not 2019. Now, I could go on.
And a McFlurry, see, a McFlurry, whenever they came out, it was like $1.30 or $1.70. I remember this because I asked my mom for one. She said, no, I'll only get you an ice cream cone because McFlurries are overpriced. And I cried at the McDonald's lobby. I remember this. I was like 5 years old or 4 years old or something. And this is right whenever they add McFlurries. And I was sitting there crying. It was one of the worst things that ever happened to me. And now they're $5 $4.40. And by the way, this is the small. There's no reason for this. And it doesn't. And the machine doesn't even work half the time.
Nag-surrender yung isa, hindi niya kinaya yung smoke.
Now, I could go on, but I think you're starting to get the point. Okay, but there are some who argue that rising wages are really the one to blame.
Lying again. Lying again. That's not even true. McDonald's is paying the same. The minimum wage in Texas, it's been the same since 2009. They're
new prices.
McDonald's
claiming
is
this trend of increased minimum wage could lead to job losses and widespread
no
restaurant closures. However, the evidence suggests otherwise. Economists at the Economic Policy Institute have extensively researched this issue and found that higher wages would likely have the opposite effect, modestly stimulating consumer demand, boosting business activity, and creating job growth. Okay, but what about fast food prices? Are they rising because of higher wages?
No, that's not the reason why. No. Don't let them turn us against each other. No. They're doing it because they have a 40% plus operating margin.
No, she's
going
around
but not
the
entirely
long
for
way.
the reasons you might think. Price increases in the fast food industry are part of a long-standing trend, not a sudden phenomenon caused by wage hikes. Because while the consumer price index for all items rose by 3.2% between April 2022 and April 2023, fast food prices surged 5.2%, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Meanwhile, the cost of groceries increased by only 1% during that time. But that was then, and this is now, and fast food has been getting desperate over the last year. McDonald's has had to really try to entice customers with their nationwide $5 value meal. And many...
So, this is bullshit. So, the original dollar menu This was the value fries. This was and any drink used to be $1 at McDonald's. These burgers right here, this was a cheeseburger. This could have been a McDouble as well. Also, if you look at the size of a McNugget, it's about this big, right? So you're looking at burgers that are about this big. This is like White Castle level burger size. It's tiny. And so, yeah, you had $1. So this used to be $4. So even their big deal right now used to be like in 2017, 2018, not 2019, where they like to use as a reference. It used to be $1 cheaper, and it was all the time.
And many competitors have followed suit. Burger King offered their $5.
And also, if you look at this soda here, that drink cup is a 20-ounce drink cup. I know that because I have them. And a large drink, so at McDonald's, there are 3 different sizes of drinks. There's small, which is a 16-ounce, or I think it's 12. And then there's a 20-ounce, which is medium. And then large is 32-ounce. And so they're showing a medium drink. And so you used to be able to also get a large drink for $1. It's 30 ounces now? No way. No, it's not. Let me read it.
Why?
Those right there, this was a 32-ounce drink. And now it's 30. Because they used to say on the drink that it was 32 ounces. And they took it off.
Watch close.
I'm gonna die.
Medium, large. So this was always how it was at every place. Medium was 20 or 21 ounces. Large was 32 ounces. And extra large was 44 ounces for a drink. For my whole life, that's how it's been. McDonald's changed it. And now it's 30. And they doubled the fucking price. Do you remember McDonald's drinks used to be $1? They were $1 for any size drink. Okay, see, now we all remember that. So they doubled the price. They lowered the amount of soda. And they want to call this a myth. They think we're fucking stupid.
Meal. Wendy's did a $4 meal deal, and Taco Bell launched a $3 value deal, all in an attempt to increase traffic to their stores. Now, it's clear they have a real problem on their hands, not only in terms of general sentiment around their value propositions, but also in regards to pricing. But fast food companies also have to reckon with fast casual offerings eating away at their market share. Chipotle, Kava, and Sweetgreen have all reported a much different outlook on this matter. And while yes, they typically attract a higher income cohort, it's not only them that are buying these products. Cava, the Mediterranean chain, only raised prices 12% from 2019 to 2023. And as a result, they reported increases to their top and bottom lines. Now, of course, they have a much smaller footprint than McDonald's, but when that Big Mac is contesting the prices of some of these fast casual
Good to the last drop. Every wham, a masterpiece.
offerings, it seems like an inevitable shift is bound to occur here. And even casual sit-down restaurants like Applebee's and Chili's are getting involved into this value war. Chili's 3 for me meal deal for $10.99 has created.
Listen, hear that again.
Into this value war. Chili's 3 for me meal deal for $10.99.
That is crazy. 3 things for $10.99.
Has created a resurgence in traffic to
Look at that.
Restaurants, resulting in their foot traffic soaring 33%, which capped off 6 straight months of increases. So are the higher prices just the costs of doing business? I don't see how one could come to that conclusion with how much profits have increased over the last 5 years
Look at the
for
margins.
most of these chains. To me, this does seem like some good old-fashioned corporate greed, masked in layers of manipulation and excuses.
McDonald's is lying about everything, and so is Taco Bell, and Wendy's is almost as bad. KFC, I used to be able to go to KFC with my mom, and we would get a 20-piece bucket. And do you remember...
Never ask. This is gonna be bumpy.
So you used to be able to get the big boys, right? And you could get, I would get one, and my mom would get one. And they were so big that you would have a handle on it. Remember that? And we would get the whole thing for 20 bucks. That's a bucket of soda. Yes. Yes. It's $20. I looked at it recently. It was like $42 just for a bucket. Don't talk negatively about Taco Bell, please. Say what you want at McDonald's, but take Taco Bell out of this. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to speak negatively about the company that had an active lawsuit against them for false advertising because of how big of a difference it was between the food that was advertised on the menu and the thing that the user got. Oh yeah, but no, let's not say anything bad about Taco Bell, guys. And you know what? I went to Taco Bell about a week ago. They didn't even ask me what kind of sauce I wanted. You used to be able to get frijoles or like pintos and cheese.